I really want women to stop planning life around a ghost. A ghost. An imaginary man that may never show up. Right? I can't tell you how many people in my life, online, in general, have admitted to making decisions about an imaginary boyfriend or imaginary husband and imaginary children. And I mean major life decisions. So part of decentering men is decentering imaginary men. I know. We all have it. All of us who date men or are attracted to these men, we all have it. Look at you, you're so cute. But what if you don't meet that unicorn, huh? What if you end up with a turkey? I love this hat. This is a shout out to my family because we always used to call, my dad used to call men turkeys. That's what they are, turkey. Although that's insulting to turkeys. And my dad was one too. But he did give me my sense of humor. So I can't tell you how many women won't take jobs or literally plan things. I literally just talked to one a few weeks ago. It's like in a major career moment. All this time, all this school, all this investment of money, time, care for a huge career thing, and was literally thinking about imaginary man in terms of where to start looking for work. Let me tell you, my most proud not centering an imaginary man was writing about schmegs. I knew if I started writing about brown chicken, brown cow, and this, my friend Claire made this. It's a keychain. It's a Claire, if you don't know. Talking about this, right? Talking about this. Talking about being, oh my gosh, my dog hair. Being a big old hoe and proud of it and loving it. I knew if I decided to talk about my schmeg's life and relationships and domestic violence and all this stuff, that I would be undateable in the eyes of many men. And you know what? Good. I don't want those men. Body count? Fork off. I don't even know my body count. I love that about myself. I don't even know the names of so many men that I've had schmegs with because I didn't want to know their name. I didn't care. In my little hoe days, and I don't mean hookup culture days where it was centering men and their pleasure and like getting coerced into things and doing things so they'd like me. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't like those days. Those were in my 20s. In my late 30s, though, woo! I had such a good time. I don't know the names of most of these men. I don't care. They don't know my name. We just are two consenting adults having a good old time. It's not for everybody, but I knew if I wrote about this, I am Googleable and possibly not dateable in the eyes of many men, and good. So many articles like this. I literally talk about what a big old hoe I am and how I love that about me. When I wrote after I was married, this one I wrote right before I met Anthony, talking about, come on over. Let's brown chicken, brown cow, but then you can't sleep in my bed. No. Let's fork and then leave. There's plenty of other ones. I wrote about my threesome. I even forgot about this one, hooking up with the same guy my new best friend hooked up with, that we became friends because we were like, this dude sucks. Do you want to be friends? Wrote about, being a cougar. I was making fun of the term, by the way. And then the Daily Mail and the Sun and all the stupid little British tabloids slut shamed me all over. 17 tabloids all over the world. My poor mother. I don't know if she ever found out about this. I think she knows by now not to Google me. This one about my first threesome and how I'm not hooking up with you if you don't give me what I want. I think I wrote this maybe 5 months before I met Anthony. He doesn't care. If he did care, I would not have married him. I could go on and on. I have so many articles that make me undateable in the eyes of so many men. Good! I do not want a purity culture man. I do not want a man who is afraid of a woman who centers her pleasure. I do not want a man who can't even talk about schmegs. I don't want a man who thinks women hit a wall, that are only interested in young women, who believes in any of that crap. And a very good filtering system for dating was that, right? I'm not saying, what I'm about to say is not like, hey, go do this so you find, oh, look at you. Look at that. I love it when his lips are just floppy, floppy little lips. Okay. So I don't frame this. Please don't frame this as, oh, I should do this so I can find a man. But if you need to frame it this way to get you to do it, then fine. Okay. Most of the women that I know who are in healthy relationships, it's because they did what they needed to do, especially very bold things that did not account for a ghost boyfriend. So, for example, all the things that I've done, but that's a big one, right? Having your name. If someone can Google your name and they're like, wow, wow. You know, not just in terms of date, like it's one thing to not care about that in terms of that. It's another thing to marry a writer. So, you know, he knew what he signed up for, that I may talk about overshare some. And obviously I'm going to respect him and his privacy and our relationship, which is, again, one reason why I'm starting Patreon this week, launching it on Wednesday. Because some things are not for just anyone, especially the red pill. Look at you. Are you giving me the eye? He always looks like he's throwing shade at me. But yeah, I have started to realize there's some things I don't want to share for the public because the little red pill dudes come in my watch it. I don't want them hate watching my stuff. But in general, I have always talked about my life and my personal experiences since I became a storyteller and writer and comedian. And I don't plan on stopping that. He knew what he signed up for. He didn't care. Not only did he not care, he actually liked that about me even more. He's so impressed by me and my courage and my authenticity and how little shame I have for any of the mistakes that I've made. Because that empathy and that self-compassion and that turning lessons into teachable moments, right? Turning shit into gold, right? Like the worst things that I've ever been through actually end up being either A, at the very least, funny stories, but usually something that's actually quite useful to other people. At very least, to feel not alone, sometimes as an inspiration, sometimes as a cautionary tale, don't be like me, right? Whatever. He loves that I share about myself and finds me fearless in that, right? Whereas, you know, if I had been centering ghost men, I'd be like, well, maybe they'd be busy. I don't want a man who's not proud of me. I don't want to be with a man I'm not proud of, and I don't want a man who's not proud of me. So doing what I needed to do really filtered out a lot of men in my favor, right? Good. Filter those men out. One of my friends built a house. Let me know if you want a video on that. She literally built, it's a tiny house, but she did it all by herself. Literally, she built this house. I watched her build it all summer long, right? Like, this is one of the toughest women I've ever met. And she is like petite. You know what I mean? She is not someone that you would be like, that woman built a house. She built it because she was tired of waiting to, you know, this idea of a partner to have her own home. And because she did not negotiate anything she wanted or wait for some man or settle for some douchebag because someone's better than no one, she actually met a great man. I love this dude. I love them together. I was like, holy crap. Wow, you did what you wanted to do. She thought was maybe a mistake because, you know, she built a tiny home for one person. She was like, am I literally like sealing my fate with this? Maybe I am, but it's important to me and I want to do this. She did it. They've been going strong for a while. They have a baby, all this stuff. Like, I'm not saying go build a house, find a man. What I'm saying is whatever it is that you want to do it. Stop waiting for these dudes. They may never show up. And even if they do, if you are not true to yourself, they're not even going to get you. They're going to get something else, but not you. Another friend of mine, currently pregnant by herself on purpose. Got tired of waiting for a good partner and understood that it's actually way better to have one on your own using a literal sperm bank than to have to fight custody, count on a man who sucks, have to have 2 children instead of 1. She's doing it on her own. I have literally never been so proud of anyone in my life. I'm like, you are, next level brave. I get to be an aunt now to another kid, and he's got a whole community to support her, because we know a man won't. Seriously, if you think about it, most women are shocked at not only how little help which even that is offensive. Their husbands or their baby daddies provide, but they literally just create more work. They don't take away any of that labor, they just add more. So my friend is like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I just really want to be a mom. Has a whole plan, like 3 different friends who are gonna be there on like, waiting to be called, like on call, if for this week, so no one's drinking, no one's doing, like, they're like ready for that call. A different friend the next week, another one, and the next week, and then backups, right? Backups. If any of those for some reason something happens, we're gonna go. Whole community set up, because she's very good at community, and she's been working hard on her community, and we adore her and can't wait to help her. And the fact that, yes, it will be hard, but I was raised by a single mom. Lots of my friends were raised by single moms. And I've said this before, not having a man in the house that forced everyone to center him, the little king baby, the sun everyone has to orbit around, but especially her, not watching a woman cater to a man, center a man, serve a man, literally have to walk on eggshells around a man. I didn't have that. So I grew up knowing whatever it is I need to do, I need to do it for myself. And I was taught that, literally, don't rely on men for anything. So, it sounds really cynical, but it literally set me up to not be disappointed and to not count on it and not put myself in a position where a man had that much power over me, because I had never let one take care of me or do, you know what I mean? Because that was weird to me. I'm not being taken care of, but even just sharing my life with a man is so weird to me. I actually really like it because he adds value to my life and makes my life easier, not harder. And I adore him, right? But if that wasn't the case, no, thank you. I don't want to be a mom. I refuse to be one, whether I have an actual child or a man child. So why am I saying all this? The more you center fantasy men, ghost men, potential men that may show up on the horizon, the more you do that, the more screwed you are in that relationship. You're already making decisions based on that man and you haven't even met him yet. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, because you don't want to have a life of regret. Like, oh, I wonder what would have happened if I'd, gone and done that thing, built that house, had that baby, whatever. And the only thing stopping you from that was the man that was supposed to show up. Because in that mindset, that's how you get in abusive relationships. That's how so many women in their late 30s, I've seen it happen, with my own eyes and, just in society, women between 33 and 39, woo, men know that those women, they really want a family. Cool. Those are the settlers. Not all of them, but ones who know she is so eager to have a family that she will look over these red flags because maybe another man won't come along. It's not going to end well. I'm not saying give up dating. I'm saying stop basing your life around dating. I'm not saying give up on having a family. I'm saying stop basing your life assuming that a man will give you that family. And one of the hardest truths that I've heard, that doesn't apply to me, but I think is very hard for a lot of women to hear, is never, ever, ever. I give this advice to people I mentor too. Every time they're like, maybe I should have a baby. If you are not prepared and okay with the idea of being a single mom, do not have that child. If you can't imagine being a single mom and you don't want to, and this man is a necessary part of this equation, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't we know by now not to give men benefits of the doubt? There are mommunes. Again, I grew up around all single moms. Married people weren't hanging out with my mom, right? Married people are scared, maybe not so much anymore, but in general, they're scared of the divorcee. It's contagious. And they and a lot of the wives get jealous of those divorced women because they're like, wow, she just does what she wants. Maybe she has a babysitter or whatever, but she seems to have a lot of extra time and energy and doesn't have to defer to someone. She calls the shots. So I was around mostly single moms, and they did amazing jobs at raising their kids. All of those kids are thriving. And now we see that a lot of single moms are moving in together because they would rather rely on the care and the support of another single mom who understands teamwork, then date another man again, or let one of these like pervert stepdads into their lives. Where are you going? He is so done. He's like, come on. TikTok, my day is over. Anyway, if you really want to write about your life and the only thing stopping you is like, what if a man who I date wants to read it? Write it! Whatever it is. If you're not going, I can't tell you how many people do this. If you're not going to some place you really want to go because you think it would be better, he is so passive aggressive. God. Just like his mama. If you're not going to a place you really want to go to because you don't think it'd be fun unless you're with a man, go. Go alone or go with a friend. Go. Anything that you are planning around fantasy man, go do it. Go do it. He ain't showing up. Not when you need it. He may show up. Maybe he won't. Grieve that. He won't show up if you need it that bad. He may show up when you don't need it. And then it's more of a choice rather than like a desperate grab, right? The person who will show up when you need it this bad is the one who knows exactly how much he can exploit that need. And those men will ruin your life. And when you're desperate for something, you see all men as this unicorn. No. He can smell your desperation. He can smell your fear. And he will use everything that patriarchy has given him to exploit that thing to his own advantage. Please, decenter men in here. In here and in your dreams. Don't let them hold you hostage. And once you stop giving them so much power, you may actually have a shot at meeting one of them. And if you don't, so what? Look at this life you've made. Look at this life you've made. Like, comment, share, do all the things, please. And be ready for my Patreon. I'm going live on Wednesday at 7 o'clock my time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going live with Lauren, one of the coolest people I know. And that is the day I'm launching the Patreon. More info on that soon. I'll tell you all like probably Monday. Thank you for listening. Et voila!